to HOTT, the Hybrid and Online Teacher Training course at Craven Community College. In this video tutorial, you will learn how to add labels to your course. Labels can help provide structure and organize information for students visually. They are similar to the headings and titles of a paper in that they call attention to particular items and sections. Before I show you how to add a label, let's take a look at a screenshot of a section in my course to see how I use labels. The red arrows show that I have used 3 labels in this section to divide the contents for students. I have a label titled Learning Checklist, and underneath include a list of items to do for the week. I have a label titled Learning Objectives with a list of objectives underneath. I have a label titled Learning Resources that includes a PowerPoint presentation. And finally, I have a label for Learning Activities and Assignments so that students know what they need to do in my course for a grade. Each week I structure my course the same way with different items on the checklist, different objectives, resources, and assignments and activities. However, I use the same structure with these same labels to keep the course consistent for students. I am going to use my sandbox to show you how to create labels for your course. First, I need to turn on my editing. I will open section 1 and use the Add an Activity or Resource link. This will open a screen that includes a list of activities and resources that are available in Moodle. Scrolling down, I find the word Label, and I will select Add. Before I do that, I want to point out that there is text on the right side of this screen that describes what a label does in Moodle. This can be handy as you're learning about the different activities and resources available in Moodle. So now I can use the editing toolbar and the box to type my label. This will be example label. I can select my text and format it using the toolbar. In this case, I'm going to go to the paragraph styles area and select a medium-sized heading. That will increase the size of my label. I could also format it using italics or bold and so forth. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what this looks like on the Moodle page. So here we see our label, example label, in section 1. Let's do another example. I'm going to add another label by adding an activity or resource, and I'm going to select label and add again. And I'm going to title this one example label 2. And again, I will select and create a medium-sized heading. But this time I want to show how we can add more text to the Moodle page using labels. So underneath this example label 2, I'm going to type some text that is normal sized underneath so we can see what that would look like. And this gives you the ability to add a lot of text to the Moodle page using labels. So let's save and return and take a look. So in this case, you can see it has the heading or the example label 2 and the smaller text underneath. We also have the ability to edit the label after we create it by using the edit feature. And in this case, we could edit the settings and change the way that we formatted the label. We can move it to the right. We can move it back to the left. We could move it to the right some more if we wanted. We could hide it so students would not be able to see it. We can duplicate it or assign roles to it or delete it. So we have many options once we create a label. Oftentimes when setting up a course, I create the labels first as the foundation by duplicating them and moving them into each section of the course before I start adding the assignments and activities. For example, I could duplicate this label. Sometimes it takes a minute. I could open up section 2 and I could get this 4-way arrow and move it down into this section. Again, doing it with the second label. So once I create the structure that I like, I duplicate and move it into all of my sections prior to starting to add the activities and resources for the course. So that's it. Thank you for joining me for this hot topic of labels. See you next time.